I started my life as an officer apprentice before freedom in the Tata Iron Steel Company. The steel plant was not being run by Mr. Tata. It was being run by his American general manager. The professional management he hired, he combined it with his money power, with his common sense, with his ability, and with his character. But without that professional management, this would never have happened. Today, India is the 10th largest industrial power in the world. How? Because we combined our native shrewdness, such money as our great industrialists had, with professional management. And we made this country the 10th largest industrial power in the world. I put it to you that the biggest power in India is the power of its people. 600 million farmers and their dependents. What will happen to India if you mobilize these 600 million farmers? Combine this farmer power with professional management. What can they not achieve? What will India not become? So, when we had an opportunity of erecting a structure called Operation Flood, I, who all my life has been an employee of farmers, and I wish to assure you, gentlemen, that is not because I couldn't get a job in the city of Bombay or in any other city anywhere else. It is only because I felt I had the best job that was going, that I could ever get. I did not do it out of nobility of character. I did it because I had the job which gave me the greatest pleasure, greatest satisfaction. And money is not the only satisfaction one can seek. There are several other forms of satisfaction. And all of these were available to me in Anand. Therefore, I would have been a fool had I left Anand. Now, if you combine this farmer power with professional management, what can it not be? What cannot be done? Now, you know, think back to 1949. A sheer accident. I hated it all. By a sheer accident, I arrived in Anand. I was not trained a dairyman. I did not know anything about dairy. I had no degree in agriculture or animal husbandry or veterinary science. I had studied nuclear physics. I had studied engineering. I had studied physics and metallurgy. I happened to come to Anand because I had to go there because I was under contract with the government of India. And I met a farmer leader called Tribhuwan Das Patel. And he told me that he needed me to put up a dairy, to operate that dairy, that the farmers of Anand would be grateful if I would please remain there and not go away, though my resignation was accepted by the government. I was very happy that I lit 13 lights there, 13 wicks. The day I went to Anand was a Friday the 13th, and I was told that is a very unlucky day. I said, that's very good, because now I will be able to leave Anand very quickly. So, in Anand, this thing happened that I met a farmer leader. He took a fancy to me. I recognized in what he was telling me an opportunity, not only to serve myself, because your real pleasure comes when you serve for others also. And this is another of the lessons I've learned. If you only work for yourself, real pleasure does not come. Only money comes. When you work for others, something more that comes, and money is not less also, incidentally. In any case, it's better than government. So, I got mixed up with this Tribhuwan Das and his farmers and his cooperatives. And what has this combination done? Whether you like it or not, you will agree that this accident has made dairying in India a little different than it was before. It may have been an accident, but it certainly, dairying is not the same because this accident happened. This is why I have started the Institute of Rural Management with the help of the government of India and the Swiss government and so on, to train 100 managers, but this time they shall not go by accident. They shall not go after having studied nuclear physics. They shall go there after having studied agro-business, management of agriculture, with a rural orientation. Then even if 5%, if 5 Kuriens are turned loose in the field of agriculture each year, will agriculture be the same? Just as dairying is not the same. So all I am submitting is, when I had the privilege, my colleagues and I, of erecting a structure called Operation Flood, planning for it, we thought this is also necessary. Now, I was fortunate because I had colleagues who were very well educated, who understood something of economics, who understood something of sociology, who understood something about planning. They were not just dairymen only. And therefore, when Operation Flood was being drafted, the question came, what is true development? True development is development of man, not of cows, not of buffaloes. And our country needs this form of development. Our men and our women must be developed. Now, if true development is development of man, I think all of you would agree with me. There is only one way in which I have developed, or all of you have developed, and that is because someone gave you the responsibility. When you put responsibility on man, he grows. The more you load him, the bigger he becomes. This is the one speciality of man. His mind, his body, his vision, his everything grows if you give him responsibility. And we have seen people who were nothing, who when they become ministers, when they become all responsibility, grow and become powerful. So that too applies to farmers. How can you develop man if you ignore 74% of our population of India, which is farmers? So we have to drag the farmer into the processes of development. We have to involve them in the processes of development. We have to place in his hands the instruments of development. We have to give him responsibility so that he becomes responsible. What we want was not just milk and milk products. What we wanted was development of man. And that too the most neglected of our men in India. And that is our farmers. And this could be done only if we drag them into the processes of development. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever criticism you may have and I may have of the government and its structures and its bureaucracies, and I am one of the most violent critics, we must also confess that in 35 years, this nation, with all the handicaps I may say, all the criticism I may make, this nation has become the 10th largest industrial nation in the world. India is a mighty country. I have therefore no doubt whatsoever, in the next 25 years, this nation shall fly its flag amongst the most powerful nations of the earth. Of that, let there be no doubt. Whatever the government, whatever messing we may do, whatever bad things Operation Flood may do, it is bound to become a very, very powerful nation. But the Dairy Board did not do it because it is not in the business of building its empire. It is in the business of building the empire of farmers. There is no agency of government in the whole of this country which, after spending 1,000 crores, which is what the Dairy Board and Dairy Corporation will spend, at the end of which we shall own nothing. And I take pride in it. Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me if I spoke with passion. If we commit mistakes, the only fellow who commits mistakes is the fellow who does something. The fellows who don't commit mistakes are those who don't do anything. I may have committed mistakes. If that is so, tell us. We have never refused to listen to criticism which are honorable.